Hello, welcome back to Cubic's Cube of Reviews. Today I'm doing something that I haven't done before, which is an unboxing. Now, this is mostly because I'm super excited about it. Number two, I usually don't do an unboxing because I already have a whole library of stuff that I need to get through, which I've kind of been putting off. Life, all that stuff gets in the way. But super excited because I just got a box from GMT Games today, which is Fire in the Lake by Volko Ruhnke and Mark Herman. Now, Mark Herman already put a box, or an unboxing up, but, I say, what the hey, why can't I do it too? But yes. Super been looking forward to this game. I actually own only one of the Coin Series games, which is Andean Abyss. I play it solo quite a bit. None of my gaming group likes these games. It's just, I don't know if it's too heavy, takes a little bit too long for them or whatnot, but as a solo game, I wholeheartedly endorse this. One of the reasons I'm super excited about it, and I guess Distant Plane did it as well, but I haven't played Distant Plane, is that you can play all of the sides solo. So in Andean Abyss, you can only play as the government, so I'm excited that I'll actually get kind of different approaches that I can take with playing Fire in the Lake. And then the other Volko game that I own is, I don't know if you can see it there, but Labyrinth. Absolutely love that game. Twilight Struggle, I believe, is along the same lines. But again, Labyrinth is one of those where you can only play as the U.S. versus the jihadist forces. So I'm pretty excited that I can play different things. And I'll get to them eventually in a review on both of those games. But if you can't tell how excited I am about Fire in the Lake enough to do an unboxing, pretty sure you already know where my reviews are going to stand on Labyrinth and Andean Abyss. For me personally, obviously not my gaming group's cup of tea. But anyway, let's get to it. Alright, so again, this is new for me, so I can't edit out any mistakes or anything because this is an unboxing, but Fire in the Lake. So let's get to this. Box, as always, GMT. I don't know, I guess I like how it's clean. They're all kind of the similar size from everything that I've gotten from GMT, so they stack/fit on a shelf nicely. You've got the nice little GMT logo, whatnot. The back of the box, another nice thing is that you do get kind of little showing of the different counters and whatnot, some of the cards. But I do like how GMT does show the complexity and the solitaire suitability, knowing, I guess, kind of their customer base. I'm assuming that solitaire is something that a lot of GMT fans are something that they like quite a bit, because even on some of their war games and whatnot shows, how suitable it is for solitaire. And again, judging by my gaming group, clearly these are not games for everybody, but the games generally, or the people that buy them, these are kind of the exact games that the people are looking for. So go ahead and pull off the shrink wrap cellophane here. I guess I should do it in front of the camera, eh? Yes, nice screeching sounds. Alright. So, in the box here, we have the famous playbook, which is Nice color, but just standard, easy to read. Breaks down all of the different event cards, it looks like, the actual order, and then kind of background. So I should point it this way. A background of each of them, giving you an idea of why these were put into the game. Non-player design, a full counter list, or card list, sorry. Nope, counter sheet scan on there, card list on the back here, so you can double check it, make sure that you have all the components, and let the nice people at GMT know if you're missing anything. Rules of play, nice little picture on the front there. Again, same stuff. I mean, it's not a glossy like you'll find in some other games. Fantasy Flight does a lot of glossy stuff, but honestly, it's workable. It does what it needs to do. The only thing that I will say, and I posted it on BGG before, that these, like Labyrinth, learning kind of the solo flowchart and whatnot was a bit of an arduous task, and the rule book is very concise, don't get me wrong, but I wouldn't say it's very hard to read, which is nice to have the playbook there, but I don't know if it's Volko's writing style, but it was a little difficult for me to learn on my own when I was trying to start Labyrinth solo. And the same with the Indian Abyss. It just took me a little bit to kind of wrap my head around exactly what was going on. And that might just be not 100% understanding the game. And then the cards change the game so much, which is a fantastic thing, but it does kind of allow some misinterpretation of rules, because the cards do break the game, kind of like a CCG or something like that. So here we have the player, I don't know what you call them, player cards. So right here, this just lists all of the different actions that each faction can take. So the Viet Cong, Republic of Vietnam, the United States, and North Vietnam. So you're going to have, I'm assuming, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yes, one for each player. And then you will also have the solo charts, the flow charts. So Viet Cong, the Vietnamese, what is that? Republic of Vietnam, U.S., and then the North Vietnamese Army. So, yep, just like Indian Abyss, you have 2 sets of those, which will help you if you have a couple, like 2 players playing, and you need 2 separate non-players along with 2 people playing. Otherwise, the one works just fine if you're playing solo. This, well, I'm not sure what all this is. Spaces list, sequence of play. This is new. I did not get this with Indian Abyss, so not sure exactly what that's for, but that's kind of cool. Shows first eligible faction, second adjust eligibility. That's kind of standard in the coin series. It shows the coup card, so it just looks like that's a breakdown of when you have in Indian Abyss. I'm assuming the coup card is just like the propaganda card in Indian Abyss. On the back here it shows spaces list, cities, population, total population, different force pool. So kind of nice to just be able to look and say, okay, I know exactly how many NBA guerrillas I can have and how many should be out in play. This here, well, actually, this is kind of nice. So this is the random spaces. Again, if you played Labyrinth, Andean Abyss, I'm sure Cuba Libre, Distant Plain, which, like I said, I haven't played those two. You'll have this chart whenever you need to make a decision for the non-players where you have to roll. But on the other ones, it's always been on, or the two that I played, Labyrinth and Andean Abyss, it was actually on the back end of the non-players. So this can actually be separate, so you don't have to flip it around. And then these are the specific events that they would choose, like what actions they would do, which again was just kind of on the end. I think that's what that's saying. Events, event instructions, yeah. So, and then, again, I'm not sure exactly how this plays out, but this looks like the random spaces map and kind of your decisions based on what is happening on the board or where they're located, I'm assuming, which is nice. A lot of these on the normal or the non-player, I try, if there's not, like, you know, if it says, oh, randomly between these two, but honestly it makes more sense, like, if I was the player, I would put it in a different place. You know, I try to do that, so I'm assuming that this might actually kind of help that, where it's like, well, realistically, this is probably where you should go. So we'll see on that when we actually get into the game, but that might be kind of cool. Here you have the counters. It looks like they are at least the same quality as Andean Abyss, which honestly, the counters are really nice. They're thick. They feel really nice. They're already rounded on these main ones. They have the rounded edges. You also have your standard square ones for, it looks like, active support, active opposition. Again, I'm sure this is a constant in the coin series. Like I said, I haven't played the other two. You do have a couple of overflows. And I'm hoping that in here on the map, which is one of the things I really wanted to look at, because Andean Abyss unfortunately had a few spots that were honestly just too damn small. And yes, this already looks much, much better. The cities are a little bit bigger, it looks like, so they should be able to hold some more stuff. Now again, I don't know if the cities are going to be a little bit more prominent in here. Again, I'm not the biggest Vietnam War historian or buff. Definitely more, which I guess with my age is probably a little bit odd, but a little bit more of a World War II buff, so this is going to be pretty new to me. Andean Abyss was completely new to me. But again, I think that there was definitely more stuff going on in some of these big cities. Obviously, I've heard of Saigon, heard of An Loc, or An Loc, and the majority of this, it looks like I haven't heard a lot about. So, anyway, this board, again, same quality. One thing that I don't like on this is the split center. It tends to, when it's in the box, this one seems a little bit nicer than Andean Abyss, but Andean Abyss tends to want to split kind of this way and puff up a little bit more. This is already laying down quite a bit nicer. Maybe it's just my Andean Abyss copy wasn't cut 100%. Actually, I don't know. I guess I don't mind this. This seems to set down a lot nicer. But yeah, you still have your overflow spots. Looks like all of the different areas for Viet Cong, Republic of Vietnam, all of this stuff is good. You have an RVN leader. You have your same resource / victory point track all the way around here. Population looks like active support. Don't know what the controlled part means, but I'm assuming that has something to do with what troops are there, because it seems from kind of what I was reading is that you actually have two almost like government forces. If you're, again, I'm just relating this to Andean Abyss, whereas in Andean Abyss you had one government style force and then three, two guerrilla forces and then one, which was still kind of a guerrilla force, but it was like a special forces. Whereas the U.S. obviously would kind of fall into the special forces. The Viet Cong the Viet Cong here would fall into the guerrilla forces, and then the Republic of Vietnam and the North Vietnamese army would actually play out more, I'm assuming, as government-styled troops. They actually have cubes with North Vietnam and guerrillas, it looks like. And Republic of Vietnam looks like they have troops, police, and guerrillas. With less bases, but more bases up on North Vietnam. So, like I said, I'm excited to see how this plays out. It looks awesome. But that'll be enough of the map for now. We have 2 sets of the cards in here. And then, again, I'm assuming that these are going to be along the same quality of cards that you would get with Andean Abyss, Labyrinth, and whatnot. Which is to say, to be honest, this is the only part that I'm just kind of meh about with quality. And I understand, got it. There's costs everywhere, and I don't know exactly how well these games sell in comparison to, again, like a Fantasy Flight game or something like that. But one thing is that they are not linen. I do have to say immediately, again, maybe my copy of Andean Abyss was sitting around in a warehouse for a long time or something, but these already, they move, which was one of my issues with Andean Abyss. Is when I first got it, a lot of it was almost like it was just a brick of cards, and I had to like break them apart. But this seems a little bit nicer, but again, you probably can't see this. See if I can get, yeah, so, I mean, I just opened this and there's already like a little gouge right here, which again, there's so many cards in here that you probably wouldn't know, but if you get a pretty nice gouge or mark on the back of one of these cards, if you don't sleeve them or something like that, it may be easy to tell what card is coming up next if you play quite a bit. Again, not a huge knock on the game, but it's the only part of the game other than the map, which it looks like maybe it was just mine with Andean Abyss, that I kind of had a problem with. But anyway, that's, these are all the cards. Tons of events, again. Just really changed the game. Looks like capabilities, again, that's something that was in Andean Abyss that generally you did not want to let the other sides pick up, so it was worth skipping a turn for something like that. Bag of bags. Another thing that I really like about all of the GMT games that I picked up is that, hey, here's a bunch of bags. You don't have to buy a bunch of Ziploc bags because that's what you're going to do anyway. If they could start including the Plano boxes that it sounds like me and majority of wargamers end up picking up for our games, then that would be awesome. But again, I understand cost can be an issue. But again, GMT, I'm sure there's a lot of us, especially on that P500 list, that would be willing to pay a little bit more just to have a nice storage solution that works. Keep in mind, there's a lot of games that have a storage solution that do not work. But if it's something that actually locks down, is capable of holding all of the pieces correctly, I know me personally, without having to go out and buy something else, it would be nice. Again, you have your dice, just kind of basic. They're, I don't know, actually I kind of like the colors. They're very I can't think of the word. Yes, whatever. They're decent. They're light. You know, they're nothing fancy, but at the same time they're not bad. And then you have here your bag of wooden pieces. And with these, which here you are looking at, I mean, just again, tons and tons of wooden pieces. Same thing with Andean Abyss. It looks like you have, you know, your troops cubes, you have police cubes, you have MVA cubes. I don't know what these are. Oh, trying to throw stuff. And then on these you have nice little, so on these you have these little cylinders, and on one side here, that means that, I'm assuming standard conventions apply, that this is a gorilla and it's underground, and then when it is active so that troops or people can find it, or when it's trying to do an action, you'll flip it, and then you have this embossed little star on this side. It looks like we got stars just like in Indian Abyss, whereas in Labyrinth it was actually like a jihadist symbol. But you've got the nice little gold stars embossed. You have your resource and turn counters, again I'm assuming. You have the little black and white pawns, which these allow you to place into territories that you're doing actions to just kind of give you a reminder of how many resources you're spending and where you're spending them or where you're moving to. These little discs are going to be bases for the respective armies. But again, just a ton of wood. This right here, again, they're nothing super fancy, and I don't need anything super fancy. I mean, I will put that out. The cards I'd like to be on a little bit better of card stock, but that's, again, personal preference. But the wooden pieces definitely work, and with the amount of them that you get, again, justifies the cost for me. The amount of cards, you know, you have a ton of those. A beautiful map, honestly. I mean, for, again, it's nothing super fancy, but the actual map stock is good. It feels nice. It's not something that's going to be tore up immediately after use. It's not a paper map. It's mounted. Nice thing. You do have the bottom of the box here, which just has, you know, kind of a standard paper insert, but it allows you to, you know, put your cards in, and then, you know, once you have all your other stuff, you know, get your wooden pieces and all that in the top here, place it all down. So all in all, from at least first impressions from the unboxing, again, it looks like we have another quality release from GMT, and I guess I should also say Mark Herman and Volko Runke, coin series number 4, and I will here in hopefully a couple of days have the actual review, at least for the kind of solo first impressions, on how this plays in comparison to the other ones, and, you know, if I think it's worth your money. If you do not have one of the coin games, or if you already have one, if this one is worth picking up as well.